The 2016-2017 NBA season marked the first year that the NBA started doing the NBA award show, a whole show dedicated to presenting the awards given out every single year. And while it's cool that we all see our favorite players in one room and that they get honored in an award style format, to be quite blunt, a lot of NBA fans don't care. Because who cares what happened in the regular season when we just witnessed 2 to 3 months of playoff basketball and just crowned an NBA champion and a finals MVP. And especially this year, the regular season ended 60 games in and was put on hiatus for nearly 5 months. And then the playoffs will take up another 2 months. So let's just keep it a buck. No one's gonna care about the awards that are supposed to represent the NBA from October 2019 to March 2020 if and when they do the award show in October. So today, as a community on this platform, let's go ahead and honor the play from this past regular season, and let's do this award show before the playoffs start when no one will care about these awards. The winners of the awards that will be announced in this video come from a panel of 23 NBA YouTubers who took place in a voting poll, and the awards will also be presented by some of your favorite creators on this platform as well. Links to their channels will be in the description, and thank you to every single one who voted, and especially to the crew who participated in presenting. But without further ado, let's get started with Rookie of the Year.
All right. The main topic here is this Rookie of the Year thing, right? Every single year we love around the late June time. Oh wait, what? It's in October this. Okay, great. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to a wall. You see the teams that pick players at number 1 that end up bust within their first 14 games of their career, or the people that end up greatest players of all time that were picked 15th in the same draft. We love it and we all live for it, regardless if your team is trash like mine or really good like a bandwagon fan. Do we even shame bandwagon fans anymore? Is that just a norm? Well, at the end of the day, the Rookie of the Year race comes down to 2 main guys, right? The big 6'6" behemoth from New Orleans, or the jaw guy on Memphis, who likes to either dunk on people or attempt to dunk on people. Either way, they're gonna make their way to the House of Highlights. And well, who actually wins this award? Oh wait, it's not Bol. All right, sadly, all jokes aside, it's Ja Morant.
Congratulations to Ja Morant for winning Rookie of the Year as his first year in the league. He lit up the NBA, averaging 18 points, 7 assists and 4 rebounds a game on some really good shooting splits, regardless of if he's a rookie or not. And also regardless of how the bubble games play out, Ja Morant has led the Memphis Grizzlies this year to be in the running for a playoff spot in the extremely tough Western Conference, alongside Jaren Jackson and the solid crew that they have over there. Out of all the rookies, he has the most total points and assists, also leads them in averages except for points where he's second to Zion Williamson. Shout out to Ja Morant, and hopefully he and this rookie class can only go up from here.
The race for the Most Improved Player of the Year award really has not been close at all over the past few seasons. Pascal Siakam got it last year pretty easily. Victor Oladipo was a runaway the year before. But this year there were a lot of good candidates, specifically 2 who made some big strides in their games, those 2 being Brandon Ingram and Bam Adebayo. Both of these guys found a lot of opportunity this year. Bam became a starter and Brandon Ingram became the #1 scoring option on a young Pelicans team. So it came down to these 2 players, but who won it in the end? Well, I found an envelope back from the Stone Age, and oh, would you look at that? It's Bam Adebayo. So congrats to Bam Adebayo for winning NBA YouTube's Most Improved Player award.
As the award would allude to, Bam Adebayo had an amazing improvement in his play this year. In the 2019 season, Bam was putting up 9 points and 7 rebounds a game off the bench for the Miami Heat. But in his first season as a starter, the 22-year-old big man has taken a leap into averaging 16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal and a block a game on 57% shooting from the field. Not only has he transformed into a very versatile big on the offensive end through his scoring and passing abilities, but defensively he is now recognized as one of the best defenders in the league, being an extremely versatile 6'9" defender who's quick on his feet and can guard multiple positions. He's been a very important piece in a really good Miami Heat team and made the All-Star team this year, again in his first year as a starter.
6th Man of the Year. The dude that comes off the bench to provide a spark. The dude that's forgotten by casuals. Unless you're Lou Will.
NANI?
Yeah, he's different. But with that being said, the 6th man is so crucial for a team's success and holding the bench down. There is one player that fulfilled that role the best this season. So the sixth man of the year for the 2019-2020 season is Dennis Schroeder. Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder this year has been fantastic for the Oklahoma City Thunder. As the Thunder lost Westbrook and Paul George in the offseason, it was up for this new cast to step up, and the Oklahoma City Thunder this season have been led by the impressive three-guard trio of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chris Paul, and Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. Dennis Schroeder specifically has averaged 19 points and 4 assists off the bench, shooting 47% from the field, 38% from 3, and 84% from the line, which are some of the best splits in Schroeder's career. And while yes, players like Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell have been great off the bench as well, given the context of OKC's situation and how much they've been overachieving and how big of a part Dennis Schroeder has been in them overachieving, he rightfully deserves this award.
In a league where offense is supreme, sometimes defense is forgotten, which is a shame because one of the more consistent traits to a great team is a great defensive unit. And the player that anchors that great defensive unit should be acknowledged a bit more often. Luckily, we do have an award for said acknowledgement, and that is Defensive Player of the Year. Now, defense is a bit tricky to assess, especially because the defensive impact that a player may have for his team may not show up in a stat sheet. And in today's league, it becomes even more difficult with the requirement for great defensive players being drastically different from what we've seen throughout NBA history. However, we still have great traditional rim protecting big men such as Rudy Gobert, who's won Defensive Player of the Year for back-to-back seasons as he has anchored one of the more consistently great defensive units down in Utah. Also, we have Anthony Davis, who's similar to Rudy Gobert, can protect the paint, but also has a versatility to come out on the perimeter and has surprised a lot of people as he's been leading a very good defensive unit in LA. And then you have Kawhi Leonard, who has been an amazing perimeter defender throughout his time in the league, and many people would make the argument in today's league, having someone with that type of impact on the perimeter is much more essential than a traditional rim protecting big. Nevertheless, though, me and my peers got together and we have voted on who should win Defensive Player of the Year award this season. Oh man, an envelope. And the winner is the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, which honestly shouldn't be that much of a surprise to anyone because Giannis is the perfect defensive player that every team desires in today's league. But let me give it a B-so he can tell you how impactful Giannis has been on the defensive end this year.
Giannis Antetokounmpo the past couple of years has transformed into a very good defender, and the last 2 years specifically has been making a case for the best defender in the league, and the panel has deemed him worthy of Defensive Player of the Year this year. Giannis's 1 block and 1 steal a game definitely don't do his defensive impact justice, but you know what does? The 14 rebounds a game does. Being the league leader in defensive box plus minus, defensive win shares, and defensive rating does. Leading the Bucks to the #1 defense in the league by a wide margin does. And simply just by watching him play, his ability to truly, and I mean truly, guard 1 through 5 due to his size, agility, and great defensive awareness also does him justice. All of these factors combined is why Giannis is this year's Defensive Player of the Year.
Behind every elite team is a great head coach lurking in the scene, hashing out every potential issue and putting each player in the best position as possible to win. This season's top candidates were former Coach of the Year Mike Budenholzer, Doc Rivers, Nick Nurse, and Frank Vogel. I, Mojo99, gladly present to you the NBA YouTube community's 2020 Coach of the Year, Nick Nurse. The Toronto Raptors this past season could have easily seen major regression and just be hella stagnant with the growth. But instead, guys like Pascal Siakam, Thick Boy Kyle Lowry, and Nick Nurse and the rest of the crew were literally using all gas and no brakes. But I'm gonna go ahead and let B-So to continue to evaluate. That was kind of cold, I got bars.
After the Toronto Raptors lost Kawhi Leonard in the offseason, you know, the reigning finals MVP and the guy that led them to the championship in dominant fashion last year, left, it was looking worrisome in Toronto. They didn't go into full rebuild mode, so they came into the season with a 33-year-old Kyle Lowry, a 35-year-old Marc Gasol, and Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet. A core that going into this year looked suspect, but at the very least was expected to not nearly be as good as they were last year. And while not having a superstar has still changed the expectations for this team, their play in the regular season, on the other hand, has far exceeded everyone's expectations, as prior to the NBA's hiatus, the Raptors finished with a 46-18 record, a record on pace to win 59 games, right around the same number of wins they had last year with Kawhi on the team. And while the players' individual development has played a huge part in that not all the credit does go to Nick Nurse's defensive schemes and the defensive culture that he built in Toronto has allowed the Raptors to play phenomenal basketball this year, despite losing the most crucial part of their championship team. The most prestigious regular season award every single year is the most valuable player, an award to signify the player that stood out the most in the regular season, an award made to signify the player who stood above the rest. It takes a very special individual and a very special season to get this award, and this year the MVP goes to, got my piece of paper right here, y'all probably saw it already, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And there you have it, this year's most valuable player, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It could very well play out the same way in the real award show, but at least on this one, Giannis becomes just the third player in NBA history to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. Giannis Antetokounmpo has led the Milwaukee Bucks to the best record in the league, a record on pace to win 67 games, and has led the Bucks to the best defense in the league while averaging 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists on 55% shooting from the field, and a massive improvement for his standards of 31% from 3 on 5 threes a game. All while, as we mentioned earlier, playing Defensive Player of the Year caliber defense. Combine that with the fact that he fits every single precedence of this award, it's not surprising that Giannis Antetokounmpo won MVP and will most likely win it in the real awards as well. Shout out to Giannis for having one of the most dominant regular seasons in NBA history. Once again, shout out to all the YouTubers who voted for these awards, and a big shout out to Nick's Click, Rusty Buckets, Legend of Winning, Mojo99, and MJ2K All Day for presenting these awards. I know a lot of the people I hit up and a lot of the people that participated in presenting the awards are very busy, so I appreciate you guys for taking time out of your busy week and busy day to participate in this video. This is probably the most ambitious collab in the NBA YouTube community, and I know it's hard and rare for us to all come together. Hopefully we can make this an annual thing, and you know what will help in doing that? For you, the viewers, to drop a like on this video and subscribe to all these creators, including myself, because I organized it and But let's blow this video up. Here's a final look at all the winners this year. I'll give y'all a couple seconds to take your screenshots. Watch these 2 videos if you haven't already. But with that being said, once again, thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to all the viewers who watched, and I'm out. Peace.